So welcome back. So this time, as we continue with the multiplication of algebraic expressions, let us proceed this time when we multiply monomial and binomial, or binomial and binomial, or shall we say trinomials or multinomials. Okay, just while ago, I presented to you on how to multiply monomials or numbers and letters or constant and variables, and those type of algebraic expressions, those are what we call the monomials or monomial by monomial multiplication. Okay, so for this time, let's proceed. Let's proceed on how to multiply monomial and binomial. So monomial, that means the algebraic expression is composed of one term, and the binomial is composed of two terms. For example, we have 4x squared, or shall we say 4x times the quantity of x squared minus 3, for example. So this is monomial because of one term only, and this one is binomial because it has two terms, the first term and the second term. And how are you going to do the process of multiplication here, if you can still remember? So either you would continue the horizontal multiplication, but in my case, I always suggest the vertical way of multiplying algebraic expression, where the one with more than one terms should be placed on top. So that means we are going to write first x squared minus 3, and then the one with the less number of terms should be in the second line. So it is always understandable that the process is multiplication. Either you place multiplication symbol or not. That is not important. What is important is we are in multiplication algebraic expression. So the first thing that you are going to do is you multiply 4x to the first term of the upper given. So that means 4x times x squared. So if we will try to rewrite that one, if you have your stats paper, because you have not able to master the one that we discussed a while ago, which is the multiplication of monomials, you may say that this is 4x times x squared. So as you can see, it is related to what we discussed a while ago. So 4x times x squared. So again, to recall, so if you multiply number and number, so understandable there is 1 here, so 4 times 1, that is 4. And if you are multiplying the same variables, just copy the common variable and other exponents. So the first x, the exponent is 1, and then plus the second exponent is 2. So therefore the answer is 4x raised to the power of 3. So when we multiply 4x times x squared, the result is 4x raised to the power of 3. So that's it. The next one is you multiply 4x to the second term of the upper given upper line. So we have 4x times technically minus 3, or that means you are multiplying unlike signs or unlike operations. So 4x times 3, so that means we have 4x here, then times 3. So multiply numbers only, that is 4 times 3 is 12, and bring down the variable x. So that means when we multiply 4x and 3, the result is 12x. And then it is this one, 4x is positive, and technically this is negative or minus. So multiplying two opposite signs, the result is always minus or negative. Negative, but since there is term here before 12, so you consider this as minus, not negative. I keep on repeating this one because most of you or some of you are always thinking that this one is negative. Again, this is only considered as negative if there is no other term before. That means this is the time that you can read this one as negative 12x. However, if there is term before this sign, like this one, so therefore this symbol is not negative but minus. So this is why you read your answer as 4x cubed minus 12x. So therefore, when you multiply the quantity of 4x times the quantity of x squared minus 3, the product is 4x cubed minus 12x. So as simple as that. I hope you get the idea here. The next one, second example. Perhaps you may have this negative, shall we say, 3x squared times 2x. For example, we have 2x raised to the power of 3 and then plus 5x, for example. So you have the quantity of negative 3x squared times the quantity of positive 2x cubed plus 3. The operation between again is multiplication. So either you continue that one, but in my case, I always suggest, again, I keep on telling this, that the convenient way is to rewrite the given into vertical arrangement. So this one is, you write first the one with most number of terms. So the first line or the upper part should be 2x cubed plus 5x. And then times negative 3x. Okay, so try to follow. So first, multiply negative 3x to 2x raised to the power of 3. So it is just like this one, multiplying negative 3x times 2x cubed. So the result is multiply only numbers, negative 3 times 2, that is negative 6, and then copy the common variable, that is x, and then the first exponent is 1, the second exponent is 3, and add them together, the answer is negative 6x raised to the power of 4. So therefore, when you multiply negative 3x times 2x cubed, the answer here is negative 6x raised to the power of 4. The last one is, you multiply negative 3x to 5x. So what will happen? So if you have here, like negative 3x times 5x, and if you are master already, there's no need for you to do this one here showing your solution, but you can do this one mentally. So negative 3 times 5, that's directly negative 15, and x times x, copy the common x, and then 1 plus 1 for the exponent, so the result is negative 15x raised to the power of 2. So therefore, this is 15x raised to the power of positive 2 and negative. So since this is, since there is term here before negative 15x, so the negative, you consider the negative as minus symbol. So the final answer is, when we multiply the quantity of negative 3x squared times the quantity of 2x cubed plus 5x, the product is negative 6x raised to the power of 4 minus 15x squared. So as simple as this, if you have mastered the basic part of the multiplication, which is the multiplication of monomials. Okay, so let's continue. Supposedly, we have, for number, the next one is monomial by trinomial, for example. Trinomial and multinomial. So when we say trinomial, the algebraic expression is composed of three terms or three monomials, while the multinomials consist or composed of more than three terms. It could be 4 terms, 5 terms, and 6 terms. You call them as multinomial. Okay, so for example, we have under the multiplication of monomial by trinomial and multinomial, or simply monomial, trinomial, and multinomial. So we have, for example, we have number 1, we have negative 4x squared times x cubed plus 3x minus 10, for example. So what is the product? So this is trinomial and this is monomial. So again, just directly write them in vertical multiplication. That is 3x cubed plus 3x and then minus 10. And then negative 4x squared. The operation is multiplication. So first, multiply negative 4x squared here. Negative 4x squared times x raised to the power of 3. So in this case, you may have negative 4 like this one. So negative 4x squared times x cubed. So the result is multiply numbers and numbers. So integers and integers, or coefficient and coefficient. So understood, there's 1 here. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then bring down the common variable, that is x, and then 2 plus 3, that is 5. 2, the first exponent, and 3, the second exponent, add them together, and that is x raised to the power of 5. So the answer here, when we multiply negative 4x squared times x cubed, the answer is negative 4x raised to the power of 5. And the next one is multiply negative 4x squared to the second term. That is negative 4x squared times 3x. That is, so the result is negative 4 times 3, that is equal to negative 12. And you have here, bring down x directly. So x raised to the power of 2, 1 here as exponent, so plus 1. So the result is negative 12x raised to the power of 3 as your final answer. So this is 12x raised to the power of 3. And then this is supposedly negative. But since there's a term here, so the negative sign becomes minus. And the last one for this part is you multiply negative 4x squared to the last term of the first line, which is negative 10 or minus 10. So negative 4x squared times technically negative 10. So we have negative 4x squared times negative 10, including the minus symbol that becomes negative. And when we multiply to the same signs, that becomes positive. So your answer here is no longer negative as the sign. And then multiply 4 and 10, that is 40. Bring down variable including the exponent, since there is no variable here, so just bring down x squared. So that means when we multiply negative 4x squared and negative 10, the result is positive 40x squared. So you write positive 40x squared. And then if it is positive, since there are terms here, since there is term before 40x squared, it is positive, so automatically the operation here is plus. So therefore, when you multiply the quantity of negative 4x squared times the quantity of x cubed plus 3x minus 10, the answer is negative. The product is negative 4x raised to the power of 5 minus 12x cubed, or 12x raised to the power of 3, and plus 40x squared, or 40x raised to the power of 2. So as simple as that. So as you can see, I am presenting this review discussion step by step, beginning with the basic part of the multiplication, which is the multiplication of variables and constant, variables and variables, and until it becomes multiplication of monomials, because those ideas you can use them when we reach this part of the multiplication of algebraic expressions. Okay, so last part for this one, when we continue with the multiplication of monomial and trinomial, still under this letter B, or next one. The second example that we may consider is 4x raised to the power of shall we say 3, and then times negative 2x raised to the power of 4, and shall we say power of 3, and then minus 3x raised to the power of 2 plus shall we say x raised to the power of, or perhaps you have 2x, and when we have plus 5. So this example is an example when we multiply monomial and multinomial. So this one, the expression inside the parenthesis has 4 terms: the first, second, third, and fourth. So considered as multinomial. So the same process when multiplying. So just rewrite them into vertical, because that is the easiest way for you to see the process. So this is now negative 2x raised to the power of 3 minus 3x raised to the power of 2 plus 2x, and then plus 5. And then your monomial 4x cubed as the second line. So this will be either you write your 4x here, 4x cubed, or this part, write this page under this 2x, or right under this 5. That is the correct process. But for me, in my case, I have to write 4x, or I have to place 4x cubed right here. Okay, so let's continue now. Just try to follow, and I hope this time you can easily follow and get the idea. Okay, so so since there are 4 terms in the first line, so your final answer must have 4 terms also. That's one thing that you should remember always. So the first is 4x cubed times negative 2x cubed. So this one, 4x cubed times negative 2x cubed. So as you continue, multiply only the coefficients, or the numerical coefficients, that is positive 4 and negative 2. So when you multiply 4 and negative 2, the result is negative 8. And for the variable x, just copy the common x, add their exponents, that is 3 plus 3 is 6. So if you have already mastered the previous examples on what we're going to do with the exponents, so you can just add directly without showing that you are actually adding like 3 plus 3. Okay, just do it mentally and write the exact answer here. So the first part, when you multiply 4x cubed times negative 2x cubed, the answer is negative 8x raised to the power of 6. And then after that, you proceed to multiplying 4x cubed to the second term, that is negative minus 3x squared or negative 3x squared. So this time, this will be 4x cubed times negative 3x squared. So this will become 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Just bring down the common variable x, and then 3 plus 2, the exponent, the first exponent is 3, the second is 2, and then add them together, that is 5. So therefore, for this part, 4x cubed times negative 3x squared, the result is negative 12x raised to the power of 5. Then again, always remember that the sign negative becomes minus if there is term before. Okay, always remember that one, because that is the common mistake that some of you always do. This sign is multiplying 4x cubed times 2x. So this 4x cubed is positive while 2x is also positive. So you are multiplying two the same signs. So this is 4x cubed times 2x. This will become 4 times 4, that is 8, and copy the common variable x and add their exponents, that is 3 plus 1. Understandable, always there is 1 here. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So therefore, multiplying 4x cubed and 2x, the result is positive 8x raised to the power of 4. So it is positive, so since there are terms where before 8x raised to the power of 4, the positive becomes plus also. Always be careful and be mindful of the operations between terms. The last one here is when we multiply 4x cubed and positive 5. So it will be 4x cubed times 5. So 4 times 5, simply that is equal to 20. And bring down the variable together with the exponent, since there is no other variable here. So the answer for the last part of the process, when we multiply 4x cubed and 5, the result is 20x cubed. So since 4x cubed is positive and 5 is positive, automatically this is positive. But since there are terms there again before 20x cubed, the positive becomes plus. Always remember that. So therefore, 4x cubed times the quantity of negative 2x raised to the power of 3 minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 5, the final answer or the final product is negative 8x raised to the power of 6 minus 12x raised to the power of 5 plus 8x raised to the power of 4 plus 20x cubed. So I hope this is very helpful for you and for all of you who wish to review and to learn more about the algebraic expression, especially when multiplying algebraic expressions. So we will take a short break, and when we come back after a few minutes, we will continue with the multiplications of monomial, we will continue with the multiplications of binomials, trinomials, and multinomials. So just stay put because we will come back. Thank you.